Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to the online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Class 9 Social Science. So far we have been discussing about electoral politics. And in the previous session we have learnt about the different stages of elections such as the electoral constituencies, and we also learnt about the preparation of voter list. So after the preparation of voter list, what is the next stage, children? So let us see. Today we are going to learn a topic such as nomination of candidates and election campaign, polling and counting of votes. So step into our topic, children. So first of all, nomination of candidates. So what is this nomination? It's nothing but registering the name for competing the election. Okay. So what is this nomination? Who can be a candidate for the election? So who can be a candidate, children? So any voter can become a candidate. So but only one difference is there. What is that? The difference is to become a voter. To become a voter, the person must have 18 years of age and above. And to become a candidate, the minimum requirement is there is 25 years of age. So that is the difference between the voter and the candidate. So any voter can become a candidate, but only one difference is that the minimum age requirement to be a voter is 18 years and above, and minimum requirement for being a candidate is 25 years and above. Okay. So now the political parties. So the political parties nominate their candidate who gets the party symbol and support. So listen here, if a political party is putting up a candidate, if a political party is supporting to the candidate, means automatically that party symbol goes to the particular candidate. Okay. In case if the candidate wants to compete in election apart from the support of the political parties, in that case, it is a duty, it is a responsibility of the election commission to issue the party symbol for that, to issue the symbol for that candidate, and that candidate will declared as an independent candidate. Okay, so that is what is there. So political parties who supports to a candidate, automatically that party symbol goes to that particular candidate and they will compete in election. And if it is a candidate who are competing in election without the political party support, then that candidate is referred as an independent candidate. Then in that case, it is the responsibility of the election commission to issue the symbol for that candidate. Okay. And then, so this party nomination is often called party ticket. So in competing the election, party ticket and party symbol is very essential, very important. And every person who wish to become a candidate in election, they have to fill the nomination form and then give some money as security deposit. So what is this, children? So whoever wants to participate in election, they can go to the district collectorate and they can fill the nomination form in front of the officer, and they have to give some amount as a security deposit, and they will give the security deposit in the DD form. Okay. So the person who wish to compete in election, they have to fill the nomination form, along with they have to submit the some amount of money as a security deposit. And now in addition to that, so the party is filling the candidate is filling the nomination form. In addition to that, the Supreme Court also ordered some direction to the political parties and candidate, and the political parties and the candidates, they have to declare something legally. So what are the things they have to declare? So the first one is the serious criminal cases pending against the candidate. So they have to give the additional details such as whether they are having any criminal cases pending against their name or what. So they have to submit that, they have to declare that. And then second one, detail of asset and liabilities of the candidate and his or her family. Yes, the candidate have supposed to give the details of the value of the property, and then not only his property values and also his family members. Okay, so the candidate have to declare all these liabilities and asset of his or his family members. And the last one, education qualification of the candidate. So if the candidate possesses any education qualification, the candidate must fill that education qualification also. So what are the declaration they have to give, children? The first one, whether they are having any serious criminal cases pending against their name, and then they have to submit the asset and liability of his or his family and his family's member. And then the last one, education qualification. If they possess any education qualification, they have to fill it, right? So the next one, the qualification, education qualification for candidate. Whether it is necessary for the candidate, children, is the education qualification is necessary for being a candidate? So let us discuss now. So education qualification are not relevant for all the kinds of jobs. Do you agree with this statement, children? Education qualifications are not relevant for all the kinds of job. Yes, you may agree with this, because if you go to the rural area, most of the women will be working on the agricultural land. Is that kind of job require any education qualification? No, of course not. Because what is the relevant thing? They have to do the work. They have to know how to do that agriculture work. And if you take any thing like you may watch, what is that? You would have heard about the singing competition and all. So if you are going to compete for the singing competition, there is no need for education qualification. Then what is necessary there? You have to be a good singer, and the judges will look at the good quality of voice and everything. So for all kinds of job, education qualification is not necessary. The same way, to become a MLA or MP, there is no necessary for the candidate to be an educated person. Okay, so if we fix that, the MLA and MP should have a education qualification, it will pose some problem, right? So there is no need for the education qualification to become a candidate. Okay, then what is the relevant qualification is required to be a MLA and MP? The thing is, they have the ability to understand the people's concern, problem, and they have to respect the people's interest. So that is the relevant qualification the candidate must have. So that itself enough to be a candidate. Okay, so even if the education qualification was relevant, it should be given to the people itself, whether how much importance they will give for the education qualification of a candidate. And of course, if we fix the education qualification is necessary, then it will pose a problem. That is, it will dead against the spirit of democracy. If suppose if we are considered that there is a education qualification, that is a MA, MCom, BA, like that means, of course, in our country, most of the people, that is 90% of the people will become ineligible to contest in election. So that is what it is also go against the spirit of democracy. So if we fix the education qualification for the contester in the election, it may go against the spirit of democracy, and obviously 90% of the people will be ineligible to compete in the election. And then now the next process, okay, after the nomination, what is the next thing? Election campaign. Election campaign is nothing but canvassing the vote. So you would have seen so many times, that is the voters, the people who contest in election, no, they will come to us and they will seek vote from us, isn't it? So election campaign is nothing but canvassing the vote. Okay, so let's see. So the election campaign takes place 2 weeks of period between the announcement of the final list of the candidate and the date of polling. So election campaigns takes place between the announcement of the final list of the candidate and then the polling date. Okay, and then during this period, the The candidates contact their voters and political leaders and address the political meetings, and political parties mobilize their supporters. Okay. So during this campaign, the political leaders and independent candidate, they will approach their voter and they will try to get their vote. So they will approach the voter, and you can see that there are a lot of meetings held by the political parties, and they will address the large meetings and all. And also you can see during an election campaigning time, all the newspapers and the television channels, they will focus this election related stories, and they will hold some debates also. So during the election campaign, we can see the lot of election related things on the television, newspapers and everything. Okay. So now we are going to look at the slogans raised by the different political parties. And of course in India we follow the free and fair election only. So all the political parties, they try to attract the people, they try to attract the attention of people, so that they raise different slogans during the election time. That is what we are going to see now. So the slogan given by the different political parties. First of all, the Congress party, it raised a slogan that called Haribi Hatao, and it promised to remove the poverty from India. So under the leadership of Indira Gandhi, Congress party raised the slogan that is Haribi Hatao, that means remove the poverty from India. So in the Lok Sabha election 1971. And another one, the Janata party under the leadership of Jayaprakash Narayan, they gave the slogan that is Save Democracy in the Lok Sabha election 1977. And then the Left Front, this party raised the slogan that is land to the tillers, and it has been issued when the West Bengal State Assembly election happened in the year 1977. And then the last thing, the Telugu Desam party raised the slogan that protect the self-respect for the Telugus in the Andhra Pradesh State Assembly election in the year 1983. Okay, so why these political parties are raising this type of slogans? To attract the people towards them, to get the vote from the people. So all the political parties, they focus on to win in the election, right? So that only they are issuing these types of slogans during the election campaign. And now, yes, of course, we know it is a free and fair election. Of course, we have to, our country gave the free and fair chance for every political party to compete in election as per their wish, right? But sometimes there is necessary to regulate these political parties and ensure that every political parties and candidates are getting a fair chance to compete, right? So all the political parties, according to the election law, all the political parties have accepted these rules, right? So no party or candidate bribe or threaten the voters. Yes, the political party, they should not threaten the voters to put vote for this person or that person and all. The people should be free to they should feel free to choose their leaders, right? They should not threaten the voters. And they should not appeal them in the name of caste or religion. Yes, of course, the political parties, they should not approach their voters in the name of the religion or in the name of the caste. And then they should not spend more than 25 lakhs for Lok Sabha election and 10 lakhs for the assembly election. Yes, of course, the election commission has prescribed some limitation how much they have to spend for which election. So for Lok Sabha election, the party should not spend more than that of 25 lakhs, and they should not spend 10 lakhs, more than 10 lakhs for the assembly election. And apart from all these election law, all the political parties have accepted to follow the model code of conduct. So what is this model code of conduct? Okay, so this model code of conduct is prescribed for the political parties to follow up during the election time. Okay, so it was issued by the election commission. Okay, so according to this code of conduct, no party or candidate use the place of worship for the election propaganda. They should not use any place of worship, okay? And they should not use the government vehicles, aircrafts and officials for the election. They should not use anything that related with the government, okay? And And once elections are announced, the ministers shall not lay any major product or to take any major decision. Why? Because when the date is announced for election, no minister should introduce any policy. No minister should do that. If they do, means they will attract that. They will attract the people towards them. So that only the code of conduct is prescribed in such a way. The ministers shall not introduce any major product or to take any major policy decision during the election time. Right? So the next thing. That is a polling of votes. So it is the last stage of election. What is that? It is a day when the people cast their vote, right? So what will happen during the election day? Let us see. Every person whose name in the voter list, they will go to the nearby polling booth and they will cast their vote. So of course the polling booth will be a government school or government office. Okay. So the every person who are eligible to be to cast their vote, they can go to the nearby polling booth and they can cast their vote. And once the voter goes inside, so once the voter goes inside the booth, the person, the official will be there, will be sitting in the booth, and they will identify the person. So once the person goes inside, the election officials identify her and they will put a mark on the finger. So everybody will know that, and allowed her to cast her vote. So once the candidate, once a person is entered into the polling booth, the officials will identify her and put a mark on the finger and then allowed her to cast her vote. Okay, and an agent for each candidate is allowed to sit inside the polling booth. So of course we know the different candidate will compete for election in a particular constituency. Of course, what is it? All the agents of each candidate will be sitting inside. Why? To ensure whether the polling is going on in a perfect way, whether the polling is done in a fair way. Okay. And then the ballot paper is a sheet. So, and then the important thing is the ballot paper. So, ballot paper is nothing but it is a sheet. It consists of the name of the candidate and with the party symbol and the name of the party. So, this paper consists of the name of the candidate who contests in election with the party name and the party symbol. Okay, and but this ballot sheet we are not using nowadays. Nowadays we have started to use the electronic voting machine. So EVM machines are introduced to register the votes, and nowadays the electronic voting machines we are using for the election purposes. Okay, so this electronic voting machines are used to record the votes, and what does the voter have to do then? The voter have to go and then just press the button against the name of the candidate to whom they have to cast the vote. So that is the thing they have to do. Just simply press the button against the name of the candidate to whom they have to give their vote. So this is the image you can see, the electronic voting machine. And after the polling gets over, the last thing is counting of votes. Okay. So what is that? After the polling gets over, all the EVM machines are packed and then sealed. Then they kept in the secured place. Okay, and on the fixed day. So after a week later or a days later, they will fix a date, and EVM machines from each constituencies are opened and votes secured by each candidates are counted. So once on a fixed day, they will be opening the electronic voting machine, and then they will count how many votes are secured by which candidate. They will start count the votes on a fixed day. Okay, and the agents of all candidates are present to ensure the counting is done properly. Yes, of course, these agents were there on the election day also. So they will be allowed to sit on the election day, and of course they will be present on the counting day also. Why they are presented there on the counting booth? Because to ensure whether the counting is going in a proper way or they are doing some malpractices and all. So they will be there to ensure that the counting is done in a proper way, right? And then, so during this counting though, it will be an interesting one for the people also to look at who will form the next government and all. So you can see in the television, television, they will give the update of each constituencies, right? So we can see all the updates regarding this counting of votes in the TV channels, and of course within a few hours of counting we will get to know who will be forming the next government. So within a few years of counting we will know who will form the next government. right? So with this, we are going to wind up this session, children. So today we have learnt about what is that, polling and counting, and then the election campaign, and then you have learnt about what is that, nomination of the candidates. So to receive our lessons, press subscribe button and you will get the latest notifications, children. Thank you.